welcome back. This is Let's Play Hexcells, and I'm your host, Cubert628. Now, last time we were chugging away at World 1. We only have one level left, 1-6, and in that process, we have unlocked World 2. I think, though, that we will go ahead and finish up World 1 just for posterity's sake. So let's get to it. Alright, so we learned all about puzzle solving last time. We got a board, some black hexes that tell you clues about which hexes are part of the pattern. Yellows are unknown, blues are part of the pattern, blacks are not. So, let's see here. The brackets mean that the blues next to the black have to be connected to each other, all of them, and the lines mean that at least some configuration of the blues around the line hex have to be disjointed. So because we know that, we know, for instance, that of these three yellow hexes, this one must be black, because otherwise there's no way to put two around this guy without them being connected. Which is great for us. Look at that. We're well on our way. In fact, because we know that this bracket guy, all of his blues have to be connected, and we've already got one blue, and there's only one place to put another. So let's go ahead and do that. Lock a bit more of the map. Let's see here. This 3 already has all its blues. This 3 has one blue, and there's only 2 spots to put 2 more. I mean, this 2 is also done. Hooray. Fantastic. This 2 is another easy one. Just go ahead and finish her off. Let's see. That looks like all the easy ones, I think. This 3 up here, because he's disjointed, we know that these 2 must be part of the pattern, because there's only 4 spots for his 3. And if either of these weren't part of the pattern, that means that they'd all have to be connected, which is not allowed. That's fantastic. Got this one over here that's fulfilled now because of that. And we know that this one has to be out of the pattern, because there was a blue there, they'd be connected. That 2 does not want that, not one bit. Now let's see, what else have we got here? This 3 can be finished off. This 4 only has spots for the 2, so we know that where those go. This 2's done. We're almost halfway. Heck, we might even be 60%. It's there. That's out. We're kind of left with a handful of tricky ones. Let's see, what can we do here? I want to say we should be able to solve something with this 1 and 2 up in the top middle. Let's see, if the 1, this hex on the very tippy top was blue, does that help us? No, not really. This 1 in the middle was a blue. That would mean this guy on top would be black, as well as these 2 in the middle. Seems promising, but it's not the only way you could get 2 on this 2 hex here. I don't feel like that's any good. That's no good at all. Gonna need something else. Oh, here we go, here we go. So, this 3 here, he already has 2. He only needs 1 more. So that means one of these 2 yellow hexes has to be a blue. And if one of those has to be a blue, this guy, this 3 in the bottom here, he only needs 1 more as well. So he cannot have a blue here. Because otherwise there'd be no room for a blue for the line 3. So that's great. This 4 can be finished off just like so, as can this 3. Now we're just kind of writing the map to the end. Ooh, here's something fancy. Okay, so we have no idea what this hex in the bottom right is. We have no way of knowing if he's in or out of the pattern, except through seeing the remaining count of blue hexes part of the pattern, which is just 1, so he has to be part of the pattern. That's very fancy, a good way to get you thinking about looking at that number at the top right of how many hexes remain in the pattern. Good way indeed. All right. World 1 complete. Congratulations for sticking around this long. Let's head into World 2. See what fancy stuff's going on here. Oh man. Now we got lots of numbers. Not just numbers on the hexes, but numbers around the grid. Alright, so now we're getting a little bit of pick cross action in here. So the numbers indicate, much like numbers on hexes indicate, what adjacent hexes are part of the pattern. Numbers on the outside of the grid indicate how many hexes part of the pattern are in that row. Or rather line, I suppose, because it can go any of the 6 directions. And of course, as usual, you can bracket them or you can line them. So let's try something out. This 3, we know how to deal with these kinds of 3s with the lines that only have 4 around them. You can put 2 guys right there. And this handy 4 on the outside of the grid, all of his have to be connected. Since we're starting here, there's only one way to go. This 3, he already has his 3. This 3 is not fulfilled yet, and there's only one way to fulfill him. What? Oh, I'm blind. Whoops, he already has his 3. I completely lied to you. Sorry. Okay. As the number of mistakes indicates, that was completely wrong. Completely my fault. I'm just a little blind over here. But we'll make as good of use from that knowledge as we can. And try to recover. Not get any more mistakes. Alright. Here's a fancy pick cross maneuver. Bring a little pick cross knowledge into here. So this 3, there has to be 3 in this line on the left. This vertical line. There are only 4 hexes over here. So if we wanted to fit 3 adjacent hexes into these 4, you could either do it, you can do it 2 ways. You can do 3 on the top or 3 on the bottom. Either way, 2 in the middle will always be filled, so we can just go ahead and lock those in. I knew all that pick cross would come in handy. So, we're here, we got 1 in this line with only 1 place to put it. This 3 is already fulfilled. Let's see. We can use 2 numbers to figure something out here. Be a little fancy for once. So this 3 only needs 1 more. At least as far as I can tell. I'm looking very hard here. Very hard to make sure I'm not miscounting. And if I'm right, so one of these has to have a blue to finish off this 3. This entire line can only have 1. Which means if one of these is blue, this guy cannot be blue. Which is great. Because this 2 has a line through it, we know that this guy must be black. Otherwise they'd be adjacent. And that's just no good. And that means that this one is right smack dab here. Alright. What else do we know? Let's see here. We know that there's... Oh man. We're getting super fancy. We're gonna use 3 numbers. Whopping 3 numbers. Like, there's tiers of difficulty to how you figure out whether a hex is in the pattern or not. First, and it's all based on how many numbers you use, so logically, tier 1, you only need 1 number, tier 2, you need 2, and so on. Once you start getting to tier 3 and 4, things start getting a little crazy. So, for instance, we're going to use this 1 for the line, this 2, and this 3, all to figure out a hex. So, this 2, we need 1 more blue around it. So that means it can either go in this second from the bottom or the exact bottom one in the line. So that's 2 possibilities. We can't figure anything out yet. But we know that if it's in the middle, that's going to fulfill the 3, which means that this second from the top has to be black, and the bottom one has to be black too. So that would work out. That'd be swell. Now let's see how things would work out if we tried the other way. This one in the middle is black. That would mean this 2 could only be filled by going with the exact bottom, marking that blue. Which would mean also that the 3 could only be fulfilled by marking this second from the top blue as well. We would need 2 in the line, and this line only has 1 in it. So you see where this is all going? See how fancy this is? 1 in the middle has to be blue. Boom. We're master puzzle solvers here. Only the best. Oh hey, now we know what this 3 is all about. We know what his jam is. Now we've got the entire left section of the puzzle done. Only 4 more hexes to go. Alright. I was putting off this right side because I just don't know what to make of it really. Let me see. I think we're gonna need to use 2 numbers for a hex. I just don't see a way around it. So let's see. These top 2 hexes in this line, those have to have at least one blue hex. This black guy over here. And if there's 1 blue hex right here, that means this bottom one cannot be blue, because otherwise there'd be 2 in the line, and this line can only have 1. So we'll go ahead and just break that open. And now, this 3 needs 2 more, and there's only 2 spots to put it. I think we have... Oh, whoops. Oh no, another mistake! I'm so ashamed. So ashamed. Every mistake is a slash across my puzzle solving cred. I'll have to live with it somehow. Alright. If you must know so, these hexes on the left, those tell you, those give you hexes for unlocking future levels. You make mistakes, you get less of them. See, I lost out on one of them right over here, because I made 2 whole mistakes, which is a mighty shame. But let's keep going, shall we? All right, this one's interesting. We got some lines. All right, and now there's some interesting information here. So because we got kind of a large map, we've got 3 disjointed regions, and if you notice, some of these lines on the outside of the grid, some of them overlap. So we know, for instance, with this handy guideline that the game's telling us about, there have to be 4 in this line, and only this part, only these 6 does this 4 apply to. However, when we look at this 5 over here, this guy overlaps. So, of these 9 hexes, we know 5 have to be blue. It's very handy information. So, from these 2 numbers, we know that 4 have to be here, and if 4 have to be here, that only leaves 1 left for these top 3 on the right island to fulfill the 5. It's less handy information. I'm not sure we'll do anything with it anytime soon, but just keep your eyes peeled, alright? You're solving this as much as I am. I'm counting on you, okay? Oh hey, here's some information we can actually use. So, this guy, there's 2 in these 4, 2 blue hexes in these 4, and this 5 says that there's 5 in these 7, but because 2 of them are already designated, have to be down in these 4, that means all 3 of these must be on the left island. Is handy dandy. Don't you agree? Right, this 3's done. As is that 4. Alright. This 4's fairly easy. I'm used to looking at the black hexes to start off with, but I'm gonna have to break out of that habit. It's the numbers on the outside, that's where it's at now. Those are the cool kids on the block. Both of these be black because of this line here slashing straight through that 3. And there's only 2 spots for this 2 to go. So we know everything we need to about that. Finish off that one. That one right here, he's done. Never have to consider him again. Ooh-ho. This is why the lines, the little faded lines, I'm not sure how well you can see them, why they're handy. Because look at them, you can just count the hexes along, the blue hexes, and see if they're done. As we can see here, got 1, 2, and 3, so he's all done. It's a little teensy bit hard to tell without the line. Just a little, I admit it. I appreciate having the line, I'll tell you that much. I mean, breaking open hexes is always a good time, but that doesn't seem to have helped us very much. Bunch of 2s. Come on, game, throw me a bone here. I can't figure out anything from these 2s. I think I'm a genius or something. I can tell you with 100% certainty that you are making an incorrect assumption. Very bad one. Which sounds very nerdy. I realize this now. And I am mightily embarrassed. Alright. Where? Oh, here we go. This 2. Only has 2 spots to put. That means this 2's done. As is this 3. It's this 2/5. Alright. This is a little fancy. No, that has to be blue. Because if it wasn't blue, I mean, both of these have to be part of the pattern, and they can't both be part of the pattern. Means that 2's done. That 2 only needs 1 more, and there's only 1 place to put it. Boom. Boom. That guy has to be blue. Off that. Almost done. That's black. That's blue. Boom. Daka. Waka. No mistakes! Alright, we're gonna take a break. I will be right back.